how dominant they were in qualifying in a little while. We'll concentrate now with the blue drone of young 15-year-old Evan Turner against Adrian Lopez Hernandez in the white drone for the Spain drone team. Into the first chicane with Turner nearly just over a second in front of Lopez Hernandez, who joined us in the 2017 season. He was underground with us in Transylvania at Halloween when we raced in the salt mine of Salina Terra. He's 3.5 seconds behind Evan Turner now, who is pulling away as we have seen him do time and time again. Hernandez cut a half a second off that gap, but it's flagged up that maybe he's gone the wrong way to do it. This will be reviewed, but Evan Turner is out in front, making that review pretty redundant at the moment. He's on to his third lap. Nice and smoothly done. He is an extremely fast pilot. Some people reckon this 15-year-old is the best of all the pilots from the USA. Not just here, but in the USA. 10 seconds now sees Lopez Hernandez behind him. To be honest, a finish for the Spain drone team is something better than they did yesterday, but in no way is it what they are here to do. Lopez Hernandez completes his last chicane of the third lap. Turner is already goggles off and high-fiving his teammates. That, I think, might be Adrian Lopez Hernandez coming into the finish, but I really think he might have missed that final pylon doing so. He was already under review for a wrong flight. I'm not sure that finisher point will stick, but at the moment, 2-0 for Quad Force 1 is looking like finisher points won't even matter.
Yeah, this is what happens when you get that first qualifier seat. The fastest qualifier will go up against the slowest qualifier. And as much as I like to see the Spanish drone team do well here, I'm afraid they're outclassed.
Alex Campbell, chief for Quad Force 1. Second, helped the team come second in our races out of Munich. He was first in the Memphis Barnstormers in his own right and third in the Sebring team race. Roberto Gomez is his opponent, second in the Campeonato de Andalusia. You might know him as Gondi. That's his racing name, and he will be on the drone, not the most right one of your picture, but the one next to that. Those are interesting starting blocks that we have. And as you were saying, Martijn, for teams, we raced the fastest team after the qualifying results against the slowest, so this is the first versus 8th seed, as you would expect in a normal kind of knockout bracket. But as the pilots line up against each other, the slowest respectively in qualifying for each team have raced each other, then the next. These were the second fastest for each team. They are Campbell and Gomez, and Campbell with the better start. And Gomez with a slow exit from the blocks around the pylon and through the gate, and he is 1.29 seconds behind Chief, who goes through the Breitling gate and pulls away, getting towards what looks like a half a lap lead. They'll go through the second chicane. Campbell leaves it as Gomez enters it. And Campbell's out on lap 2, and it's 3 seconds now. He finds his way through the first chicane of lap 2. Gomez is there, just about off the edge of your picture. And being flagged up for a wrong flight. Yeah, it didn't look like he made much of that first chicane. Meanwhile, Campbell is well away now. Very clean flying, 7.5 seconds. Out here in the bowl, it's a pretty quick lap time. They've done some incredible ones. I think our fastest laps are coming in at something like 14 seconds to do the whole thing in qualifying earlier on. Campbell now with a time of 50.06, swings it round, drops it in. I say drop. Drops it into the Red Bull crash gate via bouncing it off the ceiling of the entrance. And Gomez will get his entry into the Red Bull crash gate, cleanly done in a time of just over 10 seconds behind him. Have doubts whether that finisher point will stick, but that's 3-0 to Quad Force 1.
Yeah, awesome racing by Alex Campbell. He's actually ranked number 2 in the overall pilot, in the individual pilot rankings.
For today's qualifying?
For today's qualifying, he only has one pilot in front of him, and that's going to be our next pilot, Andy Marakilian.
That's his drone.
That's his drone.
And that is a terrifying sight for all the other pilots who are here with us in Madrid, because Andy Marakilian, he was fastest in qualifying yesterday. Today, he is fastest in qualifying as well, and he's even better.
He is, yeah. There's absolutely no denying in his skill. He actually managed to take 2.5 seconds of his 3 consecutive laps compared to yesterday.
And he was nearly 3 seconds faster than the second pilot yesterday.
Yes.
So 3 seconds quicker than his closest rival yesterday, and he is 2.5 seconds faster than himself today.
Yep.
And Alex Campbell, his teammate, moved up into second. Quad Force 1 are deadly dangerous today here in Madrid. They made it to the final yesterday. They lost to Next Blades Racing. They wanted to win it being Independence Day yesterday as well. Let's see what they've got. Andy Marakilian is against Arturo Dinero Rivera, who has got his hands full with Marakilian out in front of him, but only a quarter of a second between them. And Dinero Rivera sees Marakilian in his sights. Marakilian goes into the second chicane. Oh, Dinero Rivera sort of mixed up a 180 switchback with a split S. He's lost a lot of time there. He's still in it. Still in the air, but the gap now somewhat more significant, beginning with 2 and having a 0.2 after it. Marakilian a long way ahead. You don't want to do that to anybody when you're racing in something as professional and high standard as the Drone Champions League. And Dinero Rivera now being flagged for a wrong flight. Yeah, he's got himself into a muddle. It is a difficult course. It is currently 25 minutes past 9. It's still daylight here, but as we go through this evening's racing, and we have 35 races for you in total, as we go through this evening's racing, you will see it get completely dark. This course will light up, it changes. In the daytime, it's perhaps more difficult, Martijn, than in the night, would you say? It's so, like, consistently grey, this bowl.
Yeah, it is. But I'm not sure if I'm completely with you there, because flying by night, there's very little contrast coming in from the FPV camera that's on board. So yeah, I would I would prefer flying by day, actually.
I think what the night has brought is obviously the gates are more prominent, and if we're getting a lot of flags for wrong flight, as though people are missing pylons and so on.
Yeah, definitely.
They are pretty obvious here in the daylight, as you can see on screen, and even more so at night. But where I think pilots get into more trouble at night, and certainly one reason why the night course might be harder, is these handrails. Remember, this is a bowl.
Oh, yeah.
There are white metal rails leading down from the top of the bowl to the bottom, because this is where, now these are seats. Sometimes people bring cushions to the bullfighting, but those are the seats. It's 87 years old. You can just see them on the little edges of your picture there above our stage on the left-hand side. Those are white metal railings. And at night, pilots are finding them, hitting themselves very quickly.
You're absolutely right there, Matt. We've seen some carnage yesterday.
Yes, we did.
Explosions all over.
Fire. We had our first DCL fire, I think.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
By which I mean a drone, not like us.
Aha.
4-0, Quad Force 1. So what can Spain Drone Team do? Well, not a lot, if I'm honest with you. If they get first, second, third, and fourth in this big heat, they will pick up 4 points. That'll make it 4 all on heat points. But finisher points are too big to be overcome there. So Spain Drone Team are going to be leaving us at this quarterfinal stage. That'll be it for their time with us here in Madrid. But they would love to please this crowd here in Ventas with a win in this big heat. Getting all 4 in the front would be astonishing. Getting 1 to the front will lift this place up, I have no doubt. It is our first big heat of today. And it is a couple of blue drones for Quad Force 1, but a lot of white activity behind him. And it is Dinero Rivera who lead the charge until Dinero Rivera goes down. James Carrera are still in this for Spain Drone Team and Adrian Lopez Hernandez. Right at the back, but that's okay. There are 3 laps to this and a lot can happen in a big heat. Meanwhile, out in front, deadly Andy Marakilian is there and Alex Campbell is up with him. James still rolling around in third. You see him there, hitting the first part of the chicane. Switchback 180, he's out through the DCL gate. He's nearly 2 seconds behind Marakilian. Marakilian now 33.47. Even Alex Campbell can't keep up with him. He goes through the Breitling gate, comes around to the halfway point of the circuit. The second chicane is upon us. Marakilian and Campbell are in it. Ibanez and Turner are up there, and all of Spain Drone Team are gone. It could be the rarely seen 4-point sweep, but it's not going away. Spain Drone Team wanted it. If they can find the home, 2 are in, 3 are in. Turner will join them. A wrong flight flag might spoil their party of whether or not they got all 4 points, but they've got the semi-finals.
Yeah, this is where we see Hernandez Lopez struggling with the metal beams.
Yeah, we just mentioned them. That is a Quad Force 1 semi-final. A big demolition job over the Spain Drone Team. We've had fun with those guys, but we've not had a lot.